Hello and good day, geometry. We are here with CO8. Finally get to do what you all think geometry actually was, which is talk about shapes. But don't call them shapes, we call them polygons. Because it turns out that geometric shapes have to actually have certain criteria when we talk about polygons. So think back to last year, maybe your Greek and Latin terms in Lit. I know that you had gon as one of them because I taught that this year. And maybe you've even had the prefix, I know you've had this prefix, we talked about last year with polynomials, the prefix poly. Okay, so poly means what? Many. Gon can mean what? Sides. Okay, so a polygon is kind of like a figure with many sides. Joe, Gino, Peter. So more specifically, though, a polygon is an enclosed figure with segment sides. Okay, an enclosed figure with segment sides. An enclosed figure with segment sides. So, is a circle a polygon? Sadly not, because its sides are not made up of segments, right? The polygons that we're going to focus on heavily this year in geometry include all sorts of triangles, okay? They include quadrilaterals, which are going to be squares, and rectangles, and trapezoids, and rhombuses, and Joe, warning for you. Sorry, you were the last one. I couldn't tell who was talking before, but that was pretty clear. So, you know, sometimes it's just the last person that gets caught. So anyway, a polygon enclosed figure with segment sides. So what we're going to do today is we are going to classify polygons based on their number of sides. This is a key point. Therefore, it can and should go on a help sheet, because even if you feel like you know all of these names, it's better to have the chart and not need it than need the chart but not have it. So it's worth putting down. What is the minimum number of sides for a polygon? Minimum number of sides. The least number of sides a polygon can have. Three, right? You cannot make a polygon an enclosed figure with segment edges with one side, right? That's just going to be a segment, okay? You also need more than two, because the only way to connect a segment back to itself would be with the curve, which is not a segment, therefore it can't be considered a polygon. So the least number of sides needed is 3. Of course, this is a triangle, right? The prefix tri means 3. Angle, if it has 3 sides, it has 3 angles. In some circles, they call triangles trigons, three sides, but more commonly they are triangles. An example, you can draw a triangle. If you need help, I'll send you down to Mrs. Burke's class. You can ask one of her students to help you. Okay? She's a kindergarten teacher. Yeah. No. No. You cannot go say to anybody. 4 sides. What is a 4-sided figure called? Hands up, please. Joe? Is an example of this, but they're not all rectangles. Will? Quadrilateral. It is a fancy word. Well, now you know. Okay. Quadrilateral. Quad meaning 4, lateral meaning sides. Okay. And like we just drew up above, we've got squares, we've got rectangles, we've got trapezoids, we've got kites, we've got a rhombus, parallelogram. There are lots of different options here. Okay. Why are we so chatty today, folks? Let's reel it in. Okay. 5-sided figure. What's the name for a 5-sided figure? Yes. Pentagon. After 4, we get kind of less creative with the names. You know, we have triangle, that's pretty cool, trigon, quadrilateral. After this, it's all just kind of something gone. Okay, so pent meaning 5, penta meaning 5. Probably the most common pentagon that you've seen is like a home plate, right? Or like a house. That's a pentagon, but really any 5-sided figure. 1, 2, 3, whoops, went out of the box, 4, 5. You know, that would be a pentagon as well. Okay. 6-sided figure. Anybody? Hexagon. Okay. Hexagon. So 6-sided, probably the most common, would be like a beehive, honeycomb thing there. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a hexagon as well, right? Any 6-sided figure. 7. 7, Peter. Heptagon. Septagon is also correct. Septagon is not 9, which if you think about the months of our year, our calendar used to be 10 months long, where September was the 7th month, October was the 8th month, November was the 9th month, and December was the 10th month. But then you got some people with huge egos. Who am I talking about that added months to our calendar named after themselves? Julius Caesar and July and August, right? And they stuck themselves right in the middle of our calendar. So it's, yeah, right? It is, it used to be 10 months, and that's where Sept, Oct, Nov, and Dec came from. But then they decided, no, let's just add ourselves in there. So now we have 12. But anyway, so if you call it a septagon, James, Joe, warnings for each of you. Joe, you're nearing the end here. Heptagon, if you call it a septagon, it's not wrong. But if you think sept means 9, it actually doesn't, and there's the reason why. Heptagons aren't very, very common, but if you draw a 7-sided figure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's a heptagon or a septagon. Yeah, you don't see them too often, so they all look kind of funky, but there it is. 8 sides is an octagon. Octagon. Stop signs are octagons. Some people pay more attention to them than others, but they are. Okay. 9. Nonagon. Okay, 9-sided figure. You can draw your own. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. There we go. Okay. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we'll have to kind of, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Best ever. 10-sided. December, right? Joey? Decagon. Okay. 10-sided shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. We're skipping 11 and going to 12. What's a 12-sided figure called? Anybody know? Drew? Good. Dodecagon. Yeah. Dodecagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dodecagon. And I skipped 11, and I'm not going to go any further because at some point, mathematicians are like, okay, this is pretty cool names. We've got this. So for any polygon with n number of sides, whether it's 11 or 13 or 14 or 15 or whatever, it's called an n-gon. Yeah. So a 14-sided figure would be called a 14gon. We really lose our creativity. There are names for all of them. I mean, people have named them, but it's more common just to call them whatever. You know, you've got a 72gon would be a 72-sided figure, right? So, Joe. There is an 11. It's just an 11-sided figure is just used so uncommonly. To be honest, I don't even know because it's just called an 11gon. It does have a name, like a 13gon does have a name. Technically, you could, which is why on your test, it's going to say classify most specifically. A pentagon is the more specific name than a 5gon. But yes, technically, you can stick the number of the sides in front of all of these, and it's that many gon. Yes?
So it has to be in segments, right, for it to classify as a
segment size in an enclosed figure. Yes. Okay.
The first one here.
We'll deal with that in a second. Okay. Any questions on the chart? Oh, that must have got erased when I erased something else. It was finished earlier. Okay. Looking at these examples, identify which figures are polygons and classify them by their number of sides. Is this first one a polygon? Why not? It's got a curved side. Okay. Not a polygon. Second one, polygon, yay or nay? Yay. What's its classification? Decagon. Or a tengon. Yeah, you're gone. I like that. I like that. Next time one of you has to go. This next one, I always tell myself, you should change this for the next year. I never actually do. Because if you'll notice, that little piece there, it does jut over to the right ever so slightly. So when you count these sides, is it a polygon? Yes, it is. What's its classification? Heptagon most correctly. Septagon would also be acceptable. Okay. Heptagon. Hexagon? No, Heptagon. Actually, Hexagon might be acceptable too. Hexagon's fine. I think you're actually right. It's hepta or hecta. Yeah. Maybe I'm combining septa and hecta in my head, but yeah. What's the next one, Peter? What's that? Octagon. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 9. Nonagon. That I know it's not for sure. It's not a nanogon. It isn't curved. It is a straight segment. It probably is. Gino? It is. A 7-sided figure is a 7gon. More correctly, we'll call this one a septagon, so it doesn't feel left out. Okay. How that last one? What do you think? Why not, Sophie? Yeah. Okay. This is not considered one polygon. It's actually 3 separate ones that are kind of connected here. 1, 2, and 3 here. So by itself, it's not a polygon because those segment pieces intersect each other. But you could, say it's 3 triangles, right? But it's not a single polygon by itself. Yeah.
Couldn't you just call it
a non-gon? A no-gon? Oh. All right, your homework for Monday. Pray that there is no baby by Monday. We don't want that. Not 24 weeks in. Yes. 3, 2, 1, you are quiet. Actually, you know what? Yeah. No homework tonight. No homework for Monday. That's how you math, folks.